When I run process design simulation classes, many of you ask me why it is in principle important to pay attention to specifying the stream definition at the very beginning of your simulation, especially when you use Aspen Plus. So let me give you a quick example of why it is important. So I'm going to use my micro gas turbine model. It's a T100, so it should have the power output of 100 kilowatts. So my original specification for air flow rate, for example, is based on mole fraction, right? So my original spec is mole fraction based. I've got molar composition here. I've got mass flow rate of air that was determined based on the mass and energy balance. So when I run that model right now, you would basically see that the power output is around 100 kilowatts. So this is something I expect, right? So it's around 100 kilowatts. And this is based on the design spec I designed. But now, when you start working with Aspen Plus, when you create your new simulation, and even though you might select the molar basis for your simulation, right? So what might happen, so what I've noticed many people do actually is rather than specifying mole fraction here, they leave it as the mole flow rate, which is the default value in many cases when you set up your simulation. So when you do a molar flow rate, right? So you specify molar flow rate in kilomole per second, which is completely different to what we want. And that value usually is empty, right? So your total flow is empty at the very beginning. So many people actually leave that empty as well, mostly because Aspen let you run the simulation like this. So you put your molar fraction here rather than molar flow. And when you run the model, you will see that the result is completely different. It's completely wrong, right? So that's why it's important to pay a particular attention to how you specify your stream data at the very beginning of your simulation. Because once you do it wrong at the very beginning, the rest of your simulation will be wrong, okay? So when I go back to my mole fraction and I specify my mass flow rate, you see I'll be able to go back. Of course you can go back, but then your partial results as you start progressing with your simulation, they will be also wrong, so you might get wrong impression that your simulation is very, very good, right? So that's why you really need to pay attention to specify your input data in your simulations.